Stream is live. Stream is live. I'm almost afraid to do my intros. Told y'all they came down on me pretty hard. Listen, this is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina. We don't have a lot of time today. I got a couple of meetings I got to get to. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Yes, my face is fatter. I did gain weight, but I also retain water when I travel because many of you know 2 years ago, this heart situation is not going anywhere. In fact, it has caused vertigo. Many of you remember a few years ago when I fell off the bike, and few days ago I tripped at an event at middle school and fell because I got dizzy and I twisted my ankle, and I just disregarded it at the time. But I have torn tendon in my ankle and I had to get shots in it today. So it's a constant battle, constant going, but we got to keep going until the day we die. We have to stay busy on this mission of trying to rectify the things that have been made wrong by us and the things that are continuously being made wrong by others. I posted up on yesterday that I will be doing part 3 of a part 4 series discussing how Satan has taken over our lives and we don't even know it. Part 3 will be progressive programming. Turn this down a little bit. Part 3, 1, 2. Part 3 will be progressive programming. So we're going to work on that. I'm on Instagram today. I hope that comes out well. I've been trying something new with Instagram and video streaming live off my computer to Instagram. And it's working a little bit, but it's not saving the video. So I don't know who saw it, how the analytics are, anything like that. So we're live on Instagram, but I'm on my phone this time. We're also broadcasting live on 3 Facebook pages, the 19 Report, The Music Man, and Jamil Salib Zamir. And we're broadcasting live on Linked. And as I said before, we always broadcast live on Link, and I thank them for allowing that because business is indeed warfare. And when you go out and purchase something, you buy a home, you buy a car, you don't want anyone to damage your car. You don't want anyone in your neighborhood to have a nasty house or bring violence and crime in your neighborhood. So everything is about business. Once you make the money and you build something, you have to be able to protect it. Accountability is necessary. And we're also broadcasting live on the 19 Report under the Rebellion to Tyrants website on YouTube and also on X. Thank everyone for tuning in. Today, I'm talking about Manning, South Carolina, and South Carolina as a whole. This will not take long, but it must be talked about. Many of us are not aware that they're voting in a bill. They put it on the table. It passed one time to the House, I think, to the Senate. Now that if it passes again, it will be going to Governor Henry McMaster's desk, where he's going to sign off on it. And if he signs off on this bill, it's going to be a problem. Once they legalized marijuana, you notice that more and more young people started openly smoking marijuana. When they legalized, the age of drinking, more and more young people got their red cups on the internet. Please stay tuned. This will only take about 30 minutes. If they legalize the age change and the rules of who can carry a gun, now the age is 21. And you must have, in many cases, some training. You must have a concealed carry permit. My family has concealed carry permits. I always carry guns, always. And since I was in the 11th grade, I carried a handgun. I didn't have an open carry license then. I didn't have anything. But I did have morals and I did have responsibility. And I never would take a gun out to shoot anyone. There's nothing on my record of shooting someone without being justified. Many of you know that I have pulled a gun. I have used my gun, but I was justified in doing it. Our children today are not responsible enough, not even some of the 30 and 40-year-olds, to have the ability to carry a gun openly or concealed without some form of proof that they are qualified to do that. Now, at the State House on yesterday, I was with the Moms Demand Action Group, of which I am a part of. They asked me to come, and it was an honor to come, even though my foot was hurting, my ankle was hurting, everything was hurting. It was an honor to go. The first concern I saw was that the room was filled with retired white females, retired white males. Out of the probably 75 to 100 people were there were only 3 black males. I was the youngest at 54 years old. The man standing at the door had to be at least 70 to 75. He was black. And there's one who will be running for a Senate position. I don't want to say anything about his name, but he was there. The mothers who were there, black mothers who were there, the black mothers were mothers whose children were victims of violent gun crimes. None of the people from Manning did I see. None of the people that I know who've lost people in Bishopville and Bennettsville and Columbia to gun violence did I see. Yet we're always asking, what can we do? How are we going to fix it? We want to have a party. And I'm not condemning us. I want us to begin to, don't take what I'm saying as condemnation. I'm pointing, how come y'all can take cussing and punching and shoot? Somebody can shoot at you tomorrow and you be cool with them the next day. But when I talk like this, all of a sudden I'm a problem. I'm going to have to be the problem and rely on Almighty God because I got to keep talking. We want our t-shirts. We want our balloons. We want our liquor, our reefer, and our party. And we think that that's going to honor the memory of a slain loved one. That's not enough. We must begin to understand the laws and attack the laws that put the guns in the hands of people who are not qualified to use them. I'm not saying take the guns out of the hands of the people. We have a right to bear arms. The Second Amendment of the Constitution says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed upon. I agree with that. But see, the group that attacked the White House, they were a well-organized militia, but once they got into the White House, all they did was sat on the desk, turn over stuff. These are intelligent white folks who most of them are in prison now. And all they did was nothing. Now let's take that and put that in the context of young black boys, 18 years old in Clarendon County, because this is where I am. 18 years old. A right to carry a gun openly or concealed. Always high, most of them, always inebriated in some way with some type of perk, a pill, or something, and always on 10. Now, they carry these guns legally. This bill, S-109, is going to affect the black community. It's going to bring down our community. We already got the violence. They love this violence. They have been programmed to love it. And they are becoming loveless and careless to the next person's concerns. Therefore, whoever has the biggest gun and the biggest balls thinks that they can do whatever they want to do. This is a separate society in the black community. We're fighting a whole nother war with our children. But nobody is coming to these meetings, coming to the county council, city council, to the state house, joining organizations. We just want to wear a shirt, let some balloons go, play some music. When you remember a person and the memory that you have of them is a lie, how can you build anything on a lie? We just say our child got shot and that was wrong. We don't say they were gang affiliated. They were robbing, stealing, selling drugs. We forget all of that. They're just my child and they got killed. And I can grieve about that. But I'm honest with myself. My children are gang affiliated. just about all of them. There's a consequence that comes with that. Don't bring that around me. And every time I get a phone call, I'm concerned, but I didn't raise them that way. But this law, S109, the ignorant amongst us are saying that the moms demands action, of whom I am not speaking on behalf of today. I'm speaking on behalf of the 19 report, Jamil Salib Zamir. I am not speaking on behalf of moms demanding actions. You may have seen us on just about every news outlet last night. And I posted up a picture where I had conversation with Senator Kevin Johnson, and I thank him for allowing me to come in and ask him his views on it. And his views are not the same so much as how I'm saying it in depth, but he believes that people should be vetted before they are allowed to carry a weapon. All of your crimes, from Sandy Hook to the Emmanuel 9, young Knowledge Sims, all of these people being murdered by gun violence, the young lady who was killed in Manning at the graduation party, all of these things could have been prevented if laws were in place. Because one thing about laws and us, if the law says it's okay to do something, we do it to death. So you're going to see, if this law passes, young 18, 17, 15-year-olds in Manning with big guns on their hip, big guns strapped around their waist, big guns in their cars, waiting for something to happen. And in their mind, if it doesn't happen, they're going to make it happen. You see it happening already. We are not in a position responsibly enough to be able to do that. And I understand that we break the law anyway, even if the law is in place. But they are padding this S109. They're padding it. That, oh, if you do violate it, it'll just be a fine, or you won't, slaps on the wrist. The same way that government controlled institutions padded the school system. And we all post up that our children are making A's and B's, but they have lowered the standard of A's and B's. 50s and 60s will get you an A and a B now. They lowered the standard because the expectations of American children are at its lowest point, and they don't want innovative minds. They want batteries. Just get a degree, come work for us until you die. And if you make a mistake in the midst of working for us, this is a right to work state. We can fire you without cause. And it's going to frighten you to speak out against anything. So I said earlier that none of our people show up at these things. It's because they are afraid. More afraid of the world than they are of God. They go into church and pray and talk and shout and hop and do the dance and all of that stuff, and come out just as docile and peaceful with no fight. But we'll kill a neighbor. We'll kill another black man. We'll beat him to death. They're not even blocking black violence on the internet. They've taken down 5 of my videos talking about the psychological state of our people. They took them down saying they were offensive. But every single day you see videos of people hopping out of car. They even got a song to go with it, and shooting other black people. And we love it. Zbigniew Brzezinski said that it was once easier to control people, but now it's easier to kill them. They're setting us up with the legalizing of the drugs, the changing of drugs and guns. These are 2 things that black people are addicted to: drugs and guns. So they'll put them in the white hands, and when their white children act like black people and do something crazy, see, the law says it won't be a felony on their record. So they will get away with that and not be held accountable. Little slaps on the wrists. And then hide behind the Second Amendment, which I believe everyone should have a right to bear arms against tyrannical governments, but we're in a tyrannical government. The whole thing is tyrannical, but it is so well put together you can't even see what's happening. So first they attack our children, intelligent children. All my boys are intelligent. All of them were raised from the black perspective, but now most of them are just as docile as they want. They care about nothing but what they want. I didn't raise them that way. Exactly how I am is how I raised them. Think about others. Think about your family. Think about your community. Exactly how I am. In hopes that they would rise above how I am and get into politics, get into businesses that will give us a strong position so that we can steer government in our favor. And government is, if I'm not getting anything from you, then I'm not going to vote for you. But we vote for people because of the color of their skin. Big mistake. So I talked with Kevin Johnson, Senator Kevin Johnson, always been respectable to me. Always. And Senator Fawn Pedalino, I spoke with her. She was in session already, but she agreed that we will talk on Monday. Always respectable. Senator Kevin is a Democrat. Senator Pedalino is a Republican. I don't care what your political affiliation is, as long as we're getting things done. And they're both are respectable, in my opinion, because I'm texting her in Messenger. She's in session. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I'll leave it there. But she responded when she got a break. And I'm telling her who I am, and she put the LOL emoji and said, I know who you are. We talk all the time. She helped us with the Juneteenth festival on Sugar Hill, and she came out and spoke. Kevin Johnson, the same way. When he's available, he helped us with the Manning Lives Matter. He helped us with the domestic violence event. He even wrote checks. He wrote a couple of checks. I asked him about Juneteenth this year. He was overloaded and couldn't do anything. That's understandable. But we must get in touch with our senators, our mayors, our local officials, because I'm telling you, some of them are involved with this. Some of them want communities to go downhill so they can buy the property at a low rate. They're all in cahoots together in certain places. For real. So if this law passed, now I want you to keep your eyes on my website, because I'm going to post up how you can find out how to get in touch with your senators. So that you can express your views on this topic. Gun sales have spiked. I've been at several gun stores in Clarendon County where people of age are being paid to go in and buy guns. And I heard an older lady on the phone talking to a young boy. What kind of gun I'm supposed to be getting? What kind of gun you want? What kind of bullets? And when she came outside, I said, you're going to be responsible for a lot of death, and mind your business. This is my business. Because if a snake bites somebody, I ain't looking for the snake with blood on his jaws. I just looking for any snake. If it's going to bite, I'm going to kill it. So they got people who they pay $20 or $30. And listen, young folk, yeah, we're enemies. I know your potential because God says the best generation we have is in the streets of America. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it. He's not God, but the message is very clear. Our best generations are in the street. But the reason you are in the street is because with your fearlessness, you also have an impediment in your ability to have proper judgment. So because you're tough and strong and fearless, you think the right thing to do is the wrong thing. Why won't you take your fearlessness and go to college? Get a political position. You don't even have to have a college degree to run for a position in county council, city council. Not to become corrupt, but to help. Why not start an organization you can start a militia group. A hunting group. They have a lot of hunting groups. You can practice your shooting. You can get that anger out, that aggression by shooting. We do it all the time. But you don't have to kill another human being. So the irresponsibility of black boys, is what frightens me about this S-109. And white mothers are fighting because young white boys and white girls are committing suicide. White schools are being shot up. So one lady on yesterday said she retired early teaching because this fight was more important, getting gun regulation. They are retiring and seeing the bigger picture, what's going to happen in the future. What are we doing besides talking and telling people about your past? If you can't use your past to motivate the future, if you're not out there on the front line, you just talking, it's the job of the watchman to deliver the message clearly, the warning. And if he does not deliver the message clearly, then he will be held accountable for not delivering the message. But if he delivers the message and the people refuse the message, your hands will be clean. That's in the Bible. Look it up. Jesus' job was to deliver the message. I'm delivering it. I'm not Jesus, but I'm a follower of the teachings of Jesus Christ. We must get our children back in school, loving school. I'm trying with my son. The school just ain't gonna teach him nothing, and that's unfortunate for him. Because when you live in a world, you must understand how to use the world that you live in. But he'll find that out, and we're losing too much time in them learning lessons. 4.6 million children currently live in homes with at least one gun stored, loaded, and unlocked. We got a lot of work to do. I wanted to put that message out there, and I got to find it, but I think I left it at the senator's office because I left a form with him. But I want to find the site. You can actually type it into your phone, and then you can find who is your representative, and you can write them a message and ask them their views on Senate Bill S-109. I think that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to get that out. We have to become better organized, community-based. Black men, because black women have been poisoned in their minds, and they're fighting against black men. I'm not saying they're not justified, but they're fighting against black men. And so everywhere you look, it's black woman empowerment, woman empowerment, woman empowerment, woman this, princess this. And they're teaching these girls independence. They're not teaching them how to be a home builder, a wife, a protector of the husband. They're not teaching them what God intended. They're teaching them how to not need a man. And they're going to the colleges, and we're going to the streets and to the jails and to the graveyard. We got to do something about all of this. And it's going to take so long to do it. Man, it's going to take the rest of our lives to do it. I got to get ready to go. For those of you in Clarendon County, there's a meeting right at 6 o'clock at the Clarendon County Administration Building about upcoming voting rights and changes to the voting process and other things. I hope I'll see you there. Then there's another meeting I have to go to from 6 to 6:30. And my ankle is swollen and I can't walk on it. So I'm going to have to wear my brace. But God willing, I'm going to be there. Look into the Senate Bill S-109 and look at how the laws will guarantee that your next door neighbor's child can shoot at you and be justified in doing it and won't get no jail time. They want the savages on the streets. This is a technique. This is predictive programming. If we do this and make them believe this, eventually this will happen. I'm going to talk to you about a place in Jacksonville, Florida, called Sugar Hill. Just as big, just as influential, just as lucrative as Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they built an interstate that runs from Jackson all the way to South Carolina and destroyed all of the history of Black people. When I'm talking, and I'm talking Black, I can be fair to white. This is not bias or racism. But some of these senators, and I saw them, I saw the aura around some of them. They have secret meetings. They go to the golf course and go to their cabins in the woods, and they use the N-word. And then they put policies into place that we don't know nothing about. And they patiently wait these policies out until we go to sleep. And then they vote them into the office, and then they got their man right there to sign it. It's a process. And that's what Black people are doing in Clarendon County, some of your elected officials. They're trying to put together the same system to railroad the people to their advantage. That is treason. That is treason against Black people. You look up the penalty of treason. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that a day will come when we will have elected officials on the back of trucks throwing bricks and stones at them before we kill them. Because you know what you're doing. And you do it anyway, which means you don't care. You don't care about community. You don't care about your race. You're a traitor, and it's treason. And once the people in the street realize that your Black skin don't mean nothing, you're going to be in trouble. I lived it. I know how it works. I know what it's like when people start to see you as like them and start calling you the N-word and then will shoot you. It's coming. God has told me. I ain't got on no white garb or nothing to act like I'm holy and to tell you what the Lord said. But I'm telling you, young people, 2024, rather it is 2024 or not, I don't know. But this year, boy, y'all gonna get it this year. Y'all gonna get it. Those of you who are around here trying to make a name for yourself by saying nothing and doing nothing, just trying to make people happy. The scripture says there's a time for laughter, a time to cry, a time to fight, a time for peace, a time for war. There's a time for everything. We are at war, period. But this is a silent war. Quiet weapons are being used. And the quiet weapons are laws. And once these laws get into place, if this law is passed, you watch. You watch how terrified your neighborhood becomes when you look out the window and see 5 young boys smoking their weed in the open with their big guns on their hip and come knocking on your door. Heck yeah, I'm going to carry a gun. Heck yeah, I got them all around my house, outside too. Heck yeah. God willing, I'll use it when I got to use it. Oh yeah. Just like that. But I pray to never have to. Because what is it going to gain? This law will be a benefit to white people whose young white children are following Black people, want to be gangsters and thugs and carrying guns, so when they get caught, it won't be a felony on their record, and they won't have to lose their college rights, their rights to go to get government jobs, or their rights to go to military or get loans or anything like that. But for you, you don't want no government job. You don't want to go to the military. You don't want to go to college. So you coming right back to the hood telling everybody that you got a slap on the wrist, and it's only going to make you a bigger demon. Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Philly, Little Rock, if they're not proving anything to you, then you don't want to know. This is Jamil Salib Zamir. I hope I said everything. I'm going to try to get that link where you can contact your local officials and be able to ask them their views. The government works for you. You know that, right? The mayor pro tem, the senator, the county council, you know they work for you, right? And you know if you ask them something pertaining to their job or something pertaining to what their job description entails, that they have to answer that, right? You know that you can go to the Freedom of Information Act and get information that is privy to some and not to others because they don't know how to. You know that, right? Well, if you know it, why you not doing nothing about it? Got some big things coming up. I hope y'all will tune in. Stay tuned. This is Jamil Salim Zamir, Manning, South Carolina. Thank you for tuning in.